Hello guys, it's Sapphire Alchemy with the review for last night's episode of Once Upon a Time. And this episode is titled The Tower. The show starts off with, of course, the opening sequence. We see Rapunzel's tower is featured in the forest. And as always, I always do the character's past and then I do modern day storybook followed by cultural references. So in the character's past, in the enchanted forest 9 months prior to the new curse, Charming hears someone crying in the nursery and sees Emma wearing a gown that she plans to wear to her ball with her father. But as they start to dance, the room starts to turn dark and the magical tree wardrobe starts to suck Emma into his portal, which wakes Charming up from his nightmare. But this time he and Snow are back in the fortress where Snow tells her husband that they are expecting another child. The news of Snow's pregnancy leaves Charming with mixed anxiety, prompting him to seek advice from Robin Hood, who suggests that he should look for a night root to help calm him down. Later on the next day, as he starts chopping the root in the forest, Charming hears a woman screaming from a nearby tower and notices a rope of long black hair which is revealed to belong to Rapunzel. She says she's a king's daughter who is trying to also seek out the night root in order to calm her nightmares after her brother died, but then tells him that the night root didn't work. Unaware to the two individuals, a cloaked stranger arrives and climbs the tower. The mysterious person is revealed to be an exact double of Rapunzel, who is trying to steal her carriage. As Rapunzel is lured into her fears, Charming tells her to fight back and face it, even as he almost loses his grip on her hair. He then insists that the only way to end the fears is by cutting them off and escape the tower. The psychology works and the hooded individual disappears after Rapunzel slices off her hair, allowing her to escape the tower. She then thanked Charming for helping her, saying that she was afraid to go home because of her brother's death, and as he was trying to save her from a nearby creek. As Charming returned to the palace to reunite Rapunzel with her family, he confessed to Snow that he was afraid because he lost Emma twice. In the character past, we have the night root, which takes away your fear. It takes away your fear. It just sort of manifests it so you can face it. Face your fears. And also, it was nice with this dream Charming had of seeing Emma in a dress, and I like how they had feathers on it because her last name is Swan, so it looked like swan feathers. So I thought that was pretty. And to see her in a dress and them having like a father daughter dance, it was like so sweet. And then of course, since it's Rapunzel's story, she's portrayed as a black woman, so she doesn't have the blonde hair and the fair skin. And I thought it was good because with Once Upon a Time, you get twists to these fairy tales that you have come to know and love. You're not gonna get the same fairy tale, okay? I mean, Mulan is a lesbian. Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk became Jacqueline in the Beanstalk. Rapunzel becomes a black woman. I love Once Upon a Time. I love it. And also would also liked it because it had with Rapunzel's story, it creeped me out because the way they had her fear moving. Okay, if you ever seen movies like The Grudge and how they do that little flash thing where it's like a blur kind of thing, that's how it kind of had. I was like, okay, y'all with the storyline, please stop the creepiness. And so in modern day, present day, flash forward 9 months later to present-day Storybrooke, where Emma, Regina, Mary Margaret, David, and Hook try to come up with a plan to expose the Wicked Witch of the West as they begin their search. Regina tells the others that she'll stay and keep Henry company. At the farmhouse cellar, Zelena takes care of her prisoner, Rumpelstiltskin, who has gone insane inside the cage. I would go crazy too, you keep me trapped in the cage. Zelena starts shaving Rumpelstiltskin with his dagger, which she accidentally makes a cut, then apologizes. She later visits the pawn shop where she tells Belle that she was looking for a gift to give a baby. But the way she starts off, she's going, when Rosina come in, this is how messy he is. I mean, this is how wicked. I love how the fact that she's wicked. Well, she is wicked. I'm talking about how her demeanor is. Like, when people think of evil, you think of automatically rudeness and stuff. But what makes her so evil is the fact that she is buttery, sugary, sweet. Like, she's nice to everybody, and I think that's what makes it worse. So when she comes in, she's like, "Oh, are you Mrs. Gold?" I'm like, "Really, really? You know she thinks she dead. You gonna call her Mrs. Gold?" Oh, I was so upset because you could see Bella's trying to hold back the tears because she misses Rumple, because they're true love. She misses Rumple. And so then, she says she's looking for a gift for baby. And then she freezes Belle with a green glow and immediately takes the night root that was kept in a jar inside the safe using Rumpelstiltskin's Nick blood, because obviously it's blood magic. At Regina's office, Emma, Hook, and David searches for clues when David recognizes a berry that he once seen before in the forest. He then receives a text message from Mary Margaret that the new nanny has stopped by and wants to meet him. As he arrives back to the apartment, Zelena is making tea for the Charmings, but David is very suspicious about Zelena, even after Mary Margaret tells him that Zelena was once friends with her late nanny Joanne. My thing with Snow is, though, Snow, you are too darn trusting. If everybody in town you can recognize from the enchanted forest, but there's this one person who you do not know, you can't place her face, then maybe you should be suspicious that maybe this is the Wicked Witch because nobody has seen her. Just saying, Snow. Just saying, Snow. I'm just saying. Then you're gonna drink something when you really don't know nothing about this woman. You're gonna drink something she made you. Oh my God, Snow. Unaware to the two, Joanne, Zelena is spiking one of the teas with the night root after she returns to join the conversation. Zelena asks David if he has any fears about Mary Margaret's pregnancy. David says no and takes a drink from one of the cups whose contents contain the night root. As David later leaves the apartment and drives off, he begins to feel unnerved as he sees what appears to be a hooded individual in the road and texts Emma that he might have seen the witch. In between the events, Regina tries to bond with Henry at the park where he tells Regina about Walsh, saying it was odd that his mother took him out of school to go to Maine 2 days after the proposal, noting that we wouldn't be here if she said yes. Meanwhile, in the forest, Hook discovers the berries that David recognized from Regina's office, but Emma suspects that Hook isn't telling her the truth about the past year. However, Hook says that he was glad that she broke Walsh's heart, saying that any heart can be mended. As the two arrive to the farmhouse, they discover the cellar and investigate where Emma received a message that David found the witch in the forest, only to stab the individual, who turns out to be an exact double for David, who stares the real David face down and drains him dry during their duel, prompting the latter to face his fears of being a father, vowing never to give in to fear. The double then disappears before Emma, Regina, and Hook arrives, where they find the cellar and the cage empty. The only clue left being a spinning wheel, indicating that she has Rumpelstiltskin, because he's the only one we know who can spin straw into gold. Regina tells David that the doppelganger he was fighting with might be toying with him, but he doesn't remember anything about the previous encounter when he saved Rapunzel from the individual. Regina believes that this has happened before, and now with Zelena taking David's cut sword, she has also taken away the one thing he always had, his courage. So I really like this episode. I can't wait to see. This second half of the season is just so good. It's like I just heard we want this week to go through, so we heard we get the next Sunday. So for the cultural references for this episode, we have Regina makes a reference to Nancy Drew in response to Emma's detective work. More Wizard of Oz references can be found in the kitchen stove and the bicycle that bore a resemblance to the items in the 1939 film. So that is all for this episode of Once Upon a Time. The Tower is the 14th episode of the 3rd season. This Sunday coming up will be Quiet Minds, which is the 15th episode of the season, and we'll have Rumpelstiltskin finally escape his cage. But the question is, will he become sane? What does Zelena have planned for the Dark One? Because whoever has his dagger can't control him, so she has his dagger, so he can't hurt her. Second, what happened to Neil? Because Neil is missing. Out of everybody we have seen come back from the Channel 4, we have not yet seen Neil. So, question is, did Neil die? Because it said somebody's supposed to die in this season. So, obviously it wasn't Rumpelstiltskin. Because he's back. So, Neil is missing. So, either he's dead or he became a fly monkey. Because we have seen that happen with Little John. And what else? Hopefully, Hook and Emma will get a little bit more closer in their romance. And we'll see why, and hopefully we'll get closer to what is Zelena's big plan for the citizens of Storybrooke. So again, this is Once Upon a Time Review. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys next Sunday.